This is Muriro on Monday on Star FM. Muriro on Monday. Brace yourself. It's a hard hat area.
Star FM sounding good all the time. Good evening and thank you for making us your number one. As always, on a day and time as this, we discuss issues keeping Zimbabweans awake at night. I am Linda Muriro. Now, it is the eve of our school's opening for the third and final term of 2024. How have your back-to-school preparations been? It was back-to-school rush today and the past few days, and I can tell you that our newsroom has been inundated with calls from concerned parents and guardians over one issue or the other, including a refusal by some schools to accept fees payments in the local currency. What issues have you faced that you feel need to be addressed? I am Linda Muriro across all social media platforms, which include Facebook, X, and LinkedIn. So do get in touch and share your concerns. Now, our topic tonight is around transportation and movement of learners and the general public on our roads. Now, for the last 3 years, Zimbabwe has witnessed an increase in road carnage, according to latest statistics from the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe records an average of 4,250 accidents on a monthly basis. Now, recently, government through the Transport and Infrastructural Development Minister, Felix Mona, as part of measures to reduce road carnage, reviewed the travel radius for commuter omnibuses with a carrying capacity of below 26 passengers from 120 to 60 kilometers. Is this adequate enough to reduce road carnage on our roads? And tonight we discuss this and more.
This is Muriro on Monday on Star FM. Muriro on Monday. Brace yourself. It's a hard hat area.
And for our discussion tonight, I am joined in studio by Assistant Commissioner, Senior Staff Officer, Press and Public Relations with the Zimbabwe Republic Police, Ascom Blessmore Chishaka, and as well as Chief Superintendent Clever Maramwidze. We are also joined by, from the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe, Madame Lucy Kuandira Mapfumo. Madame, Assistant Commissioner and Chief SAP, good evening and thank you very much for coming through.
Good evening, Linda.
All right, and as always, we value the contribution of you, our listeners, so do take part via our studio WhatsApp number 0772162651, and later on, I will open the phone lines after the news at 7 o'clock, so do be part of this discussion. Now, to begin with, Madame Lucy, what are the most common causes of road traffic accidents in Zimbabwe?
Thank you, Linda. According to a UN report of 2019, 94% of road crashes in our country have been attributed to human error. And this human error manifests itself through various reckless behaviors that we see people doing on the road, such as drinking and driving, such as the use of cell phones, such as speeding, overloading, poor vehicle maintenance, and even pedestrians crossing at undesignated places. So all of that has been attributed to human error, which is the major cause of crashes in our country. And by the way, we are trying to move away from the word accident, because accident is unavoidable. So, and crashes are avoidable. So if we say crashes are avoidable, then we are definitely saying the 94% is human error, which is avoidable.
Right, and we have seen, especially during public holidays, or as we head towards public holidays, entities such as yours joining forces with others that include the ZRP in carrying out road awareness campaigns. What are the issues that the motorists and other road users raise as far as this issue of road safety is concerned?
I think with our motorists and the general public, the issue is they are not really aware of the effects of their actions on the road. Because someone will just say, I'm just texting or I'm just answering my call, not knowing that that is a very grave and serious issue on the road, and that can cause an accident, a road crash. So most of our motorists need to be educated, which is what we have been doing, educating them on the need to avoid recklessness on the road. And we have been teaching and educating and publicizing through platforms such as this one to say, let us move away from what we are doing and let us be accountable of our actions so that we will have a total road safety, we have a smooth flow of traffic, and we preserve the sanctity of life.
And as the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe, your reaction, or how have you received the recent review by the Minister of Transport and Infrastructural Development to reduce the radius by which commuter omnibus operators transport passengers?
We are very thankful to the Minister of Transport and Infrastructural Development for such an initiative, because we have seen that most commuter omnibuses haven't been abiding by the road rules, and they have been acting very recklessly when transporting people, especially using long distances. So we are very appreciative of the Minister for such an initiative as it promotes road safety. What we are concerned about is the promotion of road safety and the preservation of life. So from that, we are very thankful and acknowledge the efforts by the Minister of Transport.
All right, so you may be wondering, if you're listening to us, why is this topic necessary at such a time? Well, there is a lot of movement on our roads as parents and guardians take their kids back to schools. And we have had loss of life, including vana vezvikoro vachienda kumatrip, and kana zvikoro zvavhurwa tikuzoti matrip achawanda zvekare vamwe vachibuda kumunzi maguta vanodzidzira vachienda vachishanya as part of their learning activity. So this is why we thought that we needed to be having this conversation, especially following this latest development where a government reviewed the radius of a commuter omnibus combis. To what extent will it aid in reducing road carnage? So do come through on a 0772-162-651. I am Linda Muriro, and I'm joined in studio by Assistant Commissioner Bless Mo Chishaka and Chief Superintendent Clever Maramwidze from the Zimbabwe Republic Police, as well as Lucy Kuandira Mapfumo from the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe. We had hoped to have representatives from the Vehicle Inspection Department, VID, but unfortunately they are no show. We believe they developed cold feet from the information I'm getting from my producers here. So we hope that maybe in future shows we will have them. So do come through with your contributions. And later on, after the news at 7 o'clock, we will be joined by the Zimbabwe United Deregulated Commuter Operators President Frederick Maguraminga. Tichinzwawo kuti role yavo ivo vanotakura veruzhinji yakamira sei, vari kutedzera mutemo here, ndipapi patiri kurasika senyika pakuchengetedza upenyu hunorasika mumigwagwa. Now, coming to you, Assistant Commissioner Chishaka, there have been concerns about police officers being too aggressive and confrontational when discharging their traffic enforcement duties. What are your reactions to this concern?
Thank you very much, Linda. This is a perception that is coming generally from the public to say police officers are too aggressive. But we believe there are certain situations that call for us to apply a bit of what I call minimum force in order to achieve our objective of arresting perpetrators of crime. These sentiments mainly come from major cities, for example, in Harare, where there seems to be a lot of disorder, a disorder being caused by some unscrupulous elements within the driving community. So as the Zimbabwe Public Police, when we come in and try to arrest these unscrupulous drivers, this is when now the public then sees what would have happened and start to think that the police is being aggressive in that regard. But in any case, we will be trying to achieve our objective of ensuring that we bring sanity from a disorderly situation that would have prevailed at that particular time. As the Zimbabwe Public Police, we do not go out to police in order to suppress the feelings of the people or in order to endanger the lives of the people. When we then deploy our police officers, we deploy them after having thoroughly briefed them about what is supposed to be done. So the standard procedures are then told to the police officers that are going to partake a certain particular role, especially in the traffic enforcement. And we tell them to do what is necessary by the rule book to ensure that there is professionalism in whatever they do. But when they encounter such situations, they may now heighten their activity, and this activity may be seen as being a harassment in some quarters.
All right, it is 18:52, and I see a number of interesting messages that are coming through, and I will be reading those messages after now, Indaba. So do keep them flowing on 0772-162-651. Now, Chief Sub, one other issue of concern is the issue of congestion. Ndangandichiterera zvangu 3 to 6 ndichinzwa KVG and the team talking about how people desire to have breaks, and one of the breaks that parents and guardians have had during the holiday, of course, is kumbozorora maschool run kana zvikoro zvavhurwa kudai school run, which means more congestion yange yamboti derere zvishoma inenge yadzoka. And another concern has been pamwe panomountwa atinoti roadblock aya nemapurisa, logically unotoona kutoti apa mapurisa ndova atohonzeri yecongestion. Congestion is such a major issue which has been discussed even at cabinet level, with government coming up with an inter-ministerial task force to address the issue of congestion, and with the ZRP playing a critical role in addressing issue ye congestion yoyo. Can you maybe put us to speed? How do you decide kuti nasi tiri kunomira kana kuti pakona pa Simon Mazorodze kana kuti na Willowville ndo patiri kumira ipapo? Unoona dzimwe nguva mapurisa ari pama traffic lights atinoti marobots. What is the wisdom behind the selection of mapoints ekuti muri kumira semapurisa muchiongorora zvamunenge muchiongorora, in the belief from us as motorists kuti muri kuda kuti tifambe zvakanaka?
Yeah, thank you very much. As police, yes, we try as much as possible to ensure that there is a traffic flow which is unhindered, and there is no traffic jams in town. But as for the sighting of what I may refer to as the sighting of roadblocks, maybe, for a better word, it's informed by a number of issues. It depends. When you see police officers there, it's not only that they are dealing with the issues of traffic. They might even be looking for robbers, they might be looking for dangerous weapons and other things. And when you are sighting such a roadblock, you must look at a place where you know that motorists might not evade. So sometimes this won't be very convenient to those who are just watching you, because they don't know the intention why the roadblock has been established at that place. But anyhow, we always encourage that police officers must always have an imaginary stop line, a line that they say no, when vehicles go up to maybe 50 meters from where they are conducting the roadblock, then they let them flow, so that they do not cause unnecessary congestion and stagnation of traffic on the roads.
All right, and I will ask the same question to Assistant Commissioner Chishaga. How do we balance the need to ensure enforcement of traffic laws and the need to ensure smooth flow of that very same traffic. Nekuti tikatarisa even just pedo apa na Simon Mazorodzi na Willoville apa mangwanani unotona mapurisa akamira ipapo vachitarisa zvavari kutarisa mitero and what have you, and you're thinking, is this really the best place, given that there is the saying that time is money, as we try to build Zimbabwe towards an upper middle income economy by 2030, which means productivity and production. How do we ensure that motorists do not spend unnecessary time at roadblocks or on the roads due to what I would call misdemeanor on the part of the police?
Oh, thank you very much, Linda. The balance should actually have a result of a win-win situation. Win on the police side in order to achieve our objective, and win on the side of the motorists to ensure that they drive to arrive safely to their intended destination. So as we deploy these police officers, we actually tell them of what is supposed to be done in the event of they discover that there is congestion that is very much imminent at that particular spot or intersection. When there is imminent congestion likely to occur, we have ways and means of ensuring that traffic actually moves speedily so that we do not have congestion at that particular place. How do we do that? Our police officer, the man in charge, is supposed to ensure that he surveys the area where the static roadblock is and finds alternative routes whereby he or she can allow other cars to then move so that congestion can actually be minimized at that particular place. Our intention as the police is not to cause congestion. Our intention is to ensure that on the broader aspect of policing, are we achieving the ends of policing? For example, the general public may think that we are there to do traffic enforcement, when in actual fact we are looking for robbers, when in actual fact we are looking for those who are moving with carcasses into town, leading to diseases as a result of meat that is contaminated. So we will be doing quite a number of things at those static roadblocks or intersections, but we need our police officers to be so intuitive to then say when there is congestion, what is it that we do so that it becomes a win-win situation on both the motoring public and of course the Zimbabwe Republic Police.
And before we go to the news, ASCOM, this latest move by the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructural Development yekuderedza tingati nhano inoshandiswa nevemakombi pakutakura vanhu kubva pa makiromita anoita 120 kusvika pa 60. Imi semapurisa munorigamuchira sei danho iri? Nekuti ndakatarisa pakabuda nawi vamwe vachitaura kuti kove mabhazi wani ndo vacho vari kutochekeresa vanhu vachifa. To what extent do you think this will reduce tsaona pamigwagwa kana tati makombi tichitarisa mabhazi atinomboona vamwe vakatombotorerwa maresidence avo nehurumende ekuti vange vachioperata? How are combis are part of this matrix, and to what extent will this measure go in reducing tsaona?
Our view, my sister Linda, as the Zimbabwe Republic Police, is that those who were mandated to interrogate this situation, they did the necessary due diligence, and this is the reason why they to come up with this measure. So on our part as the Zimbabwe Republic Police, ours is enforcement of any legislation that would have been enacted. So if this legislation comes into effect, we will enforce, and in the process, if we see that there are red flags pertaining to what will be happening, then ours is to lobby the powers that be to say these are the red flags that we have seen as far as this policy is concerned, and the policy can actually be changed, because when we lobby they change. But we would like to believe a good job was done, and as we start policing this aspect of the law, we would like to believe it will ease whatever problems that were occurring.
This is Muriro on Monday on Star FM. Muriro on Monday. Brace yourself. It's a hard hat area.
Many thanks to Senzo Mpofu for giving us Now Indaba. The news team is back at 8 o'clock with more news. It is 8 minutes after 7 o'clock and you are tuned to Star FM, sounding good all the time. Thank you for making us your number one. I am Linda Muriro, and tonight we are discussing road safety issues, and I'm joined in studio by Assistant Commissioner Blessmore Chishaka from the Zimbabwe Republic Police, who is here with the Chief Superintendent Clever Maramwidze, as well as Lucy Kuandira Mapfumo from the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe. And we are joined on the line by Zimbabwe United Deregulated Commuter Operators President Frederick Maguraminga. Frederick, good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Linda. Good evening, Linda. Good evening, listeners.
Now, I will begin with you. How have you received, as the Zimbabwe United Deregulated Commuter Operators, the news that government, the review by government, yekuti vemadzikombi vasatakure vabereki distance inopfuura 60 kilometers chiri danho rekudzikisa kana kuderedza kana kutobvisa zvachose road accidents mumigwagwa, tsaona dzemumigwagwa?
Ya, chinhu chekutanga chandinoda kuzivisa vanhu vedu vatinotakura, kunyange mamembers edu, maoperators nemadrivers edu, ndechekuti isusu hatina chatinoramba tinotaurwa nehurumende, hatina chatinopikisa nekuti hurumende inenge yeida kuti ichengetedze upenyu hwavanhu. Asi dzimweni dzenguva panoita zvimwe zvinhu zvinouya imwe nguva tinge tisina kunge takaudzwa kuti tinge tichiburitsa chinhu chimwe chete. Saka chandinongoona ndechekuti danho rakatorwa irori tikanyatsotarisa uremu hwaro in terms of kupedza matambudziko etsaona, pachiri kuda kuti pagarwe pasi mapurisa, Traffic Safety Council, Ministry nemastakeholders ese tonyatsobuda neapproach yakanyatsokwana. Danho irori tinorigamuchira, asi rakaoma rine rimwe side ivo vane maonero avakaita sevakuru, asi rimwe side racho tikatarisa kuti matsaona zhinji dzanga dzichiwandira kumabhazi. Isusu hatimboti pane mota isingaroveri, but tsaona zhinji dzanga dzichiwandira kumabhazi. Saka inguva yekuti paitika decision iyoyi mastatistics asingaenderani nezviripo. Asi dai kwanga kuri kutaura nyaya yekuti zvinana comfort zvairambidzwa vanhu kuti mota ipiwe permit yekunobata bhulawa yaka1, izvo takagara takazvinzwisisa. Mutemo uyo hauna kuuya nhasi, wanga uri fair. Tanga tichibvumirwa radius 120, zvanga zvisina kuipa. Bhazi rotoro kumwe kwese kuruku, vanhu ivava vari kutomboka vakwanisa kuvapedza because vari kutakurwa netumushikashika. Saka kutaura chokwadi, ikanyatsotarisa pakuti tsaona dzinopera nekuda kwedanho iri, ina handiri kuti ndinyepe. Of course idanho ravatora kuti zvinhu zvifambe, taona pekutangira, but kutaura chokwadi chaiko chaiko hapasiripo pane mumaongoro kukonzera tsaona. Ine motikari dzemushikashika izvozvizvi dzakazara, dziri kuita zvadzinoda. Dambudziko redu harisi kumakombi ema-associations. Iyo highway yatiri kutaura iyi, ngatinyatsotaurana chokwadi. Highway iri kutakurwa nemahonda fit, nemawish, nemaprivate, nemapickup. Mabhazi ari kutotakurwa mashoma. Bhazi rinopedza nguva rakamira pawevers, bhazi rinopedza nguva rakamira parushape richitsvaga vanhu pakaduma pachegutu. Vanhu havachamboda zvese izvozvo, vava kuda mago fast. Munongopinda vanhu 11 mukaprobox mobva vaenda. Ndo dambudziko ratinaro. Chitarisai muone kuti vanhu vangani vari kuperera muchimotikari umu, ndo muri kufa. Saka kensa yatinayo mutransport right now iri mumahonda fit nemota dzemushikashika. Ndoda kubata mota yakarovera kumondoro, mota yakarovera pasanwe paruwa, mukada kutarisa pazimurapa, imotikari dziri kubva pamushikashika. Why? Motikari idzi hadzina kana anokurudzira kana anodzidzisa, hadzina kana phone number yekufona kana fleet number, and havamire pamapurisa paroadblock. They don't respect our police. They don't even actually honor anything road. They are just doing whatever they want. So this is the problem yatinayo iyoyi. Saka izvozvi kudaro kwandiri kuita kuno zvakaoma. Tine motikari dzanga dzichirambidzwa kare nemarengi mashawa kuenda highway. Ndosaka ndodambudziko ratatinaro. Zvine zvinokauya mutemo uyu. Asi pamutemo uyu tichiona zvekare, tinoonawo kuti vemabhazi vakaadhimita kuti vane mabhazi akawandisa akushaya maruti. saka ndanoona sekuti vasashandise that kuti vawane pekushandira ndovega vakataura kuti mabhazi edu awandisa ndisi ndakadaro saka awandirwa nemavhiri saka ngatigarei tese pasi zvokuti ukanese tisingade toda kuti vake nyika yedu ministry of transport iri kutiitira zvakanaka takati maassociations ange aripo saka pakuda kuti isusu nevemabhazi tigare tese pamwe chete pasagare paine kabridge karipo because tiri kusenza anda hurumende imwe chete uye chitakura vanhu vamwe chete pagiraundi rimwe chete saka zvakanaka kuti pasaite kunge pane vamwe varida kubatwa zvakanaka vamwe vachibatwa zvakaipa isu ministry of transport yedu yagara inongoenzanisa but apa iye zvinezvi apo tinoda kunyatsoziva kuti chii chakaitika hazvisi kutifadza madhiraivha ese anga achienda kudzaya tichaita sei maconductors vanga vachishanda tichavaita sei all of a sudden hatichakwanisa kuenda ikoko ende mabhazi acho ari kutakura futi mumatiri muno umu mushikashika watikuwadza mabhazi acho arimo zvine zvatanzi hatichatakure above 60 mabhazi acho tiina kuti tirivira keke rimwe chete futi mulocal
saka imi semaoperator vedzimota dzidiki idzodzidzi zvinyunyuto zvamuri kutaura izvi mambozvisvitsa here kuhurumende nyanyi iyoyo yeministry of transport and infrastructural development iyi kuti kumabhazi kwacho tiri kukompita futi for mapassenger mamwe chete mumalocal routes acho iwaya ari within ma60 km radius zvekare tiri kukuvadzwa nemushikashika nekuti as you speak your concerns sound valid. Have you raised these issues with the authorities, Frederick?
Ndinokutangira ndofunga tine zeterapi yedu ndofunga vane maefforts avanoita kuita maoperation akawanda kupedza mushikashika asi kuti nditaure chokwadi maconcerns ese aya takati asvika nemapurisa tinogara pasi kuministry of transport isusu sema-associations tabatana tane apex national associations tese takaendesa document rimwe chete rekuti tikurukure nehurumende tichishandisa chivimbiso chekuti dialogue saka ndosaka mazoda tichiti hatichakupoterana namatombo kana kuti tichairespect kuhurumende kana kunani but todawo kuti maybe information yedu since tanga tisina kuti takaudzwawo information yedu vakainzwawo tinosvika somewhere saka to be honest we have already submitted our document to the Ministry of Transport, which is the relevant or regulatory authority. Saka hatisi kungotaura maredhiyo chete asi tatoendesa maredhiyo tiringotaura kuti nyika izive kuti chii chiri kuitika mushure mekunge zvinhu zvakadai zvaitika nekuti tine vamwe vanhu vakawanda vari kutoshaya transport kune dzimwe nzvimbo saka ndingataure kuti sure we have submitted a document and ministry yedu honorable Felix Mona munhu the minister anoda kushanda nevanhu the minister anoda kugara pasi nevanhu
tinotenda chaizvo iyo yatova PR vamagura mhinga yemakuitira minister Mona isa hatisi zvedu pakuita PR tiri pakutaura maissues asi tinotenda tanzwa chaizvo zvemataura ndichidzoka kuno kustudio Lucy government is revamping the Traffic Safety Act to give the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe arresting powers as a part of broader measures to enhance traffic law enforcement and curb lawlessness on the country's roads. To what extent, how do you foresee this working? Atizoite here takubhedhena mamotorists ari kutojamba ipapa tikavhura nhare ndichitarisa even WhatsApp messages ari kuuya vanhu vari kutochema nebasa riri kuitwa nemapurisa iroro rekuti unongomiswa uchisungwa zvimwe nguva hausi kutonzwisisa kodzero dzako semutyairi. Atizoite here conflict pakati pe-Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe neZRP imimi muchisungawo ava vachisunga?
Maonero edu ndekuti when government comes up with policy or wanting to revamp certain acts, a thorough research and consultations would have taken place. Isusu as Traffic Safety Council, we acknowledge and we accept whatever government comes up with, because we know kuti with the situation that we have, our statistics are rambachiwedzera. There's a lot of people who are dying on the roads, there's a lot of injury, there's a lot of property damage, and also we've got 406 million of GDP that we're losing as a result of road crashes. So when government says we want to enhance our road safety sector in this way, it then simply means that they want to assist and they want to preserve the human life. So we are accepting and acknowledge the efforts that are being put in place.
All right, and I will ask Chief Super Maramwidze, how do you foresee this working, Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe with arresting powers? Kuti vari kutyora mutemo pamurodi ngavasunge. Munoona ukama uyu uchizoshandika zvakanaka here pakati penyu seZRP neTraffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe kana vachinge vane masimba ekusunga vatyairi vedzimotokari nemotokari dzacho kuimpounda mota ikangoonekwa yakafa vachipiwa masimba yokuti vanogona kuti ngaibve ipapo atizoite maclash here nekuti pari zvino tiri kutoona event katarisa muri muguta reHarare for instance Harare Traffic neZRP pane kamwe kakudhonzerana kari kushungurudza vafambi then taakuda futi kukanda zvekare Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe into that mix. How do you foresee that working?
Thank you very much, Linda. You know, our main goal is road safety. We want to save lives. We want to ensure there is no damage to property. So the goal of Traffic Safety Council and that goal of the ZRP, the goal of VID, is basically the same. And what we can do is actually cooperate rather than fight, because we do not have any other interest in what we are doing other than to save human life. It's not for profit. It's not for any other gain to anyone. We benefit the whole country by saving the GDP, by saving our human lives. And it's not only in Zimbabwe that a body like Traffic Safety Council has been given these powers of arrest. If you go worldwide, you will see that most of these road safety boards, they have been given these powers. In Nigeria, I think they have more than 4,000 enforcers in Nigeria from the road safety board for Nigeria. And this is what we want to also take on board here. The advantage is that, you know, Traffic Safety Council has been there doing awareness campaigns and educating the motorists and the road users on safety, better safety methods when using the roads. So it's an advantage now when they are educating you and also enforcing. And when we have been doing joint traffic awareness campaigns, in certain instances, we ended up also enforcing even at those traffic awareness campaigns, because people will just say, these are not enforcers, they are traffic, and then you see them committing serious offenses. You cannot let those people go. So yes, we accept this, and we welcome this Traffic Safety Council being given those full powers as an enforcer.
And thank you very much, Chief Sup. And Lucy, what in terms of capacity, what does this mean? Kanamani arresting powers, what would it entail capacity-wise for the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe?
Thank you, Linda. So what it means is that where we are on a roadside block, I'm sure you know that we have got roadside blocks that we do educating the public on safe travels and all of that. But the irony is, where you are educating someone to wear a seatbelt, for example, to drive within the speed limits, that person has got a vehicle that is overloaded. So what do? So we are there we are welcoming this initiative, and then we're saying it is important that where we see situations like that, we'll then be able to reprimand those that will be doing such acts. Because it is very ironic so what are we educating? At the end of the day, it contradicts our very existence on that block. So we want a situation where we are educating, yes, but we are also able to not allow people to go on and then end up being in crashes and lose their lives.
And related to this, Lucy, the Ministry has also indicated as part of these measures, the setting up of a road accident fund to provide insurance cover to victims of crashes on Zimbabwean roads. In your view, in what way would this be different from the third-party insurance, which has largely been unhelpful to motorists in the event of an accident?
All right, so what the government has been doing is to come up with initiatives that buttress or that help the situation. I'm hearing Vamagura Minga is complaining about this situation, but what the government is trying to do is to ensure that we've got various ways of trying to ease the situation at hand. So this road accident fund is there to ease the existing challenges that we're facing, or to ease the loopholes that are there with the insurance that is currently at play.
All right, let me take some calls. 0772-162-651, 0714-414-413. As we talk all issues dzekuchengetedzwa kweupenyu pamigwagwa. Ndinam studio Assistant Commissioner Bless Mo Chishaka na Chief Superintendent Clever Maramwidze from the Zimbabwe Republic Police. I'm also joined in studio by Lucy Kuandira Mapfumo from the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe. And on the line, we have a Zimbabwe United Deregulated Commuter Operators President, Frederick Maguraminga. Star FM, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yes, good evening. You're through to Star FM.
Thank you so much. I think in two my issues, especially with my accidents and my bus. If they are intentional with controlling that issue, I think the bus operators should be mandated with the buzzer for a certain speed. Because if you see, even with my trucks are no local with the operator and they are no local egg. The operator with my bus ngapiwe a mandate with the bus are for a certain speed. My bus over a timetable and I famba. Whether with the bus no go sumuka at any time. Rakumanya with the beta time you no go simuka. No go some accident. Quite the issue you put it highway. A driver anongo flash my lights achona kuti kune one coming. Ameno kuti ku traffic safety council does not disqualify about defensive. If people can be taught kuti kana yangwe kuti munhu akanganisa aita own coming, instead of you flashing your lights, it's better you step on your brakes or end up side pane ku flash my lights. I think that will save a lot of accidents per road. Thank you so much.
Right, thank you very much for that contribution. Let's take another call. Star FM, good evening. All right, 0772-162-651, 0714-414-413. Star FM, good evening. Star FM, hello?
Hello, good evening. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. I have got a different perception in terms of the road traffic safety council taking the mandate of actually enforcing. I think their mandate mainly was to actually educate the public on road safety, not enforcing. Who is going to do their role? Because I believe already their role, they are not actually doing it enough. What more were giving them another role of actually enforcing? Police, but because already we see that there are challenges in terms of corruption along the way, and some people even within our enforcement system trying to actually make a living within the road. They are actually road. It's a way of actually trying to make that other person and put up a bribe or something so that they take money. But I just feel as police, we do our role and make sure that and Road Safety Council, do your job to educate people. Because the education is limited. Even in Marare March,
Right.
Let's try and make work more.
Thank you very much for that contribution. Regaitinzwe vangu vateereri ndisati ndadzoka ku studio. Star Family.
Hi Linda, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Thank you, Linda. Shamari.
ndori nonzi disaster rikuitika ma-terrorist organizations hakuzowani. Imagine enforcement iri kuitwa nevanhu vesipasi vaya kumotari. Imagine enforcement iri kuitwa neHarare City Council, ma-terrorist organization achiharasa vanhu, maharasiro avari kuita vanhu kuzoti VID maharasiro aiita vanhu. Pari kubikwa mbodza panapa palinda. Then police ukatarisa management inoitwa nepolice panyaya dzetraffic, very reasonable, very understandable, very organized. Chero kuchizi corruption iripo yesiko all over the world. But in maorganizations dzinonga zvinofoti baba izvi zvindakudza chokwadi. Council ukanyatsotarisa vakomana vari kucancel kumaitira vanoita unototi hamene kuti Taliban yedu Zimbabwe. Ukatarisa vakomana ve-6 vaya vakangopuwa masimba ekwenibhoza unoti hamene kaTaliban vauya kuZimbabwe. Then come yamaguda kuudza pamusoro pezvinhu zvikunisa kudhara. Imagine amenoli. That's what I see.
Zviri kunzwika. Lucy ari kunzwa zvamuri kutaura ende ndinobhilivha other authorities vari kuteererawo vezita rapi vacho vari kunzwa kuti kana danho iri razenge rabatika zvichange zvichishanda sei. These are the concerns that are coming through. Let's take some more calls. Star FM, good evening.
Good evening, Linda.
Good evening, how are you?
Fine. I've been following the conversation there.
Awesome.
Yes, instead of questions, I have contributions. All right. Now, it's evident that the police have lost the war against the decongestion of city of Harare. It's always firefighting, operations, 2 minutes, the commuters are back in town. So the solution in the long term, city of Harare once tried this, to ring fence the city center. Combis should not be seen plying First Street. We need to create terminuses which are in the periphery. The radius should be defined which bars the combis from coming into the city center. Then the other second contribution, the city, the police, the city of Harare police, they should also be empowered to arrest, just like the improvement on the Traffic Safety Council. Thank you, Linda.
Right, thank you very much for that contribution. Gaiti titi tidzoke zvedu mustudio dzimwe nhare dzichiuya pa 0772 162651. Maybe let me just take this too before I come back. Star Family.
Hello, hi Linda.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, and how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. I've got just an appreciation for this ZRP, especially in the morning, pandemic congestion. We have seen them taking an initiative tendera zimwe motikari kuti ziende nekuoncoming, and which was a very good initiative. But something like that, all of a sudden, how is that being? And, we are back in, back to school, maskura and congestion here, so I don't know if the police can help to go back to that initiative, especially Panamtali Road. Getting into Masasa and so forth. The congestion is just unbearable. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that contribution. Star Family. Ndofunga Manzwa, I'll start with you, Lucy. The concerns that have come through with that describing other agencies as terrorist organizations. And makuda kuto classify makuda kuiskopa group rema terrorist apa. Lucy, as Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe, your response to the concerns that have come through.
What I like about platforms like this is we have a conversation and we hear my concerns evanu and my worries evanu. So we take those worries, we go back to the offices, to the principals, and we say these are the worries that the people have. And normally ndo patinozo wana dzimwe nzira dzekuti tovandudzwa sei chinhu chatinenge tinacho mumaoko edu. So I'm very thankful for that listener for raising such concerns. So we'll take them back to the office and try to see how best we can help the situation.
And pane muterera, I think the same caller
Yes.
You are not doing enough as the Traffic Safety Council. What are the constraints, Lucy? Other sections have also raised concerns kuti tinongoona a Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe panguva dzemaholiday paheroes senge takava nayo mwedzi wapfuura iyo tachapinda muChristmas tinoona mani spirited campaign ye road safety asi dzimwe nguva sekutaura kwaita mutereri, you are not doing enough. What are the constraints or the challenges that you're facing as the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe?
Mamwe ma-challenges atinosangana nawo ma-challenges anowanika panyaya dze-budget. Tinenge tine ma-budget constraints. Ndosaka tizoti towards the holidays we will be on the roads just to conscientize those that will be traveling. But besides that, beside the roadside awareness campaigns, there are other various initiatives that we have put in place in trying to speak to the motorist and in trying to speak to the pedestrian, to the passenger, to the cyclist, because all of these are our road users. We've got the defensive driving course because we are mandated to promote road safety through training. So we have programs such as the defensive driving course, which trains people how to defend themselves when they are on the road, especially during or when they see that there is a possible road crash. We also have got in the context of devolution, where we are trying to have all our products and services accessible to everyone. So we have now decentralized our offices to all the 10 provinces of our country. And in those 10 provinces, in some provinces, we also have 2 offices, the main office of that province, the satellite office of that province, making sure that road safety is going to people. We've translated the highway code into Shona and Ndebele, and this is a process we start. I'm sure some people say, why did you start with Shona and Ndebele? Because these are the 2 languages that most of our people speak, but the process is going to cascade to other languages. We want to make sure that everyone in this country understands road safety in the language that best suits them. So we've got a number of programs that we've put in place. We also have got road safety workshops for journalists, because we understand that the journalists are those people that spread the word. So if they are taught on road safety, if they are taught solutions journalism, moving away from just reporting statistics, 4 people died, but giving solutions to the problem, and also conscientizing people on the need or what they need to do when they are faced with such challenges.
And I believe my producer Tanyara Gwakutaura is one such beneficiary of those training workshops for journalists. Hence, we are having this discussion, and I hope you'll be able to submit this program for my competition Ego Traffic Safety Council and actually win that award. Tanyara Gwakutaura. All right, thank you very much, Lucy. And Assistant Commissioner Chishaka, you've heard the concerns are we pane vatenda basa guru kubatwa enezita rapi ende zvishwa tinotenda pane paunotonoti mapurisa aita zvawo kana kuti ukatosvika pane mamwe ma intersection unotoita hasha kuti mapurisa ari kupipi kuzi mapurisa akauya. It's people appreciating the job that the Zeta RP is doing. Well done for that. Pane concern yaunzwa ndofunga manga mchitora manotsi mungade kupindura mutereri.
Thank you very much, Linda. We believe as the Zimbabwe Republic Police, we are a people service. We are responsive to the concerns and needs of the members of the society that we police. The last caller raised a very pertinent issue to say the police is doing very well, but they need to do more in order to decongest, especially in the morning when the motorists will be going to work and taking their children to school. Like I alluded to, as a responsive organization, we'll again try to analyze and come up with other strategies to ensure that decongestion is taken to another level in the central business district. Let me also hasten to say, Madam Linda, we are very happy with such programs that you carry out because they allow us to reach out to other agencies. They allow us to reach out to critical stakeholders, because each and every month as the Zimbabwe Public Police, we do a review of the traffic situation either in the urban areas or in the rural areas, involving stakeholders. Who are these stakeholders? The pedestrians themselves, the motorists themselves. We also have the driver associations. We also have commuter-owned bus associations, just to have a review and to listen to the concerns of the general public, so that we come up with strategies that resonate with whatever is required by the people that we police, because we believe we cannot just police a society that is not appreciating whatever you will be doing. So in this regard, we will definitely go back to the drawing board, try to analyze the situation and see how best with other stakeholders we can improve the situation, particularly in the urban areas.
All right. And Chief Superintendent Maramwidze, in terms of education campaigns around mitemo yeparodi, semapurisa, how would you rate basa ramuri kuita pakudzidzisawo zvekare nedonzvo rekudzikisa matambudziko kana kuti tsaona dzinoitika pamigwagwa, nekuti tichitarisa kana kushandiswa kwenhare munhu achityaira, vazhinji vanoti kana vakusvika pane mapurisa anobvisa foni panzeve oikanda pamakumbo pazvidya, asi hazvitobvumidzwe pamutemo, nekuti kune mutemo unototaura kuti foni haifaniri kunge iri pauri zvamuchose kana uchidhiraivha. Mino kana ndiri as a law abiding citizen, kana ndagona munogona kubva mati nemo pamutemo iwoyo. Saka vanhu vanongofunga kuti vakaibvisa panzeve oidonhedza pazvidya apa achidhiraivha, anotoivhedha kusungwa kana kubatwa nemhosva. Muri kuitawo here ma-education campaigns ekunyatsodzidzisa vanhu even kodzero dzevatyairi, nekuti mimwe maconcerns anouya zvekare iri papo ekuti mutemo unomboti chii panyaya yekuti traffic officer kana mutyairi apara mhosva anopinda iye odhiraivha mota, whether iri kuendeswa kucharge office kana kuti mutemo unomboti chii, kana kuti mupurisa anozvomora maki. What does the law say? Are you carrying out enough education campaigns to educate motorists on their rights, as well as kuti vaite sei kuzvichengetedza ivo nevamwe vari kushandisa migwagwa?
Thank you very much, Linda. Yes, as the Zimbabwe Republic Police, we engage in a lot of engagements with all road classes of road users, so that they appreciate and understand their roles with regards to road safety and the road safety use. Through different forums like this one, the one that you called us here, it's one of those forums where the public are listening in right now and they are getting what we are talking about here. But on top of that, you have seen that we have the Crime Watch also, where a number of road to safety issues are also discussed. And we have taken even a step further by joining hands with the Traffic Safety Council to visit even primary and secondary schools, so that we really catch them young. Yes, we have formed some road traffic safety clubs in schools, a number of primary schools countrywide, and we envisage to actually spread this even further, so that we keep on engaging. Then coming back to this issue of the use of cell phones that we are talking about, yes, the law provides that even when you are holding a cell phone with any part of your body, you will be committing an offense, whether it's on your thighs or it's on any part. You are not supposed to be using that cell phone whilst driving. That is what the law provides, because it really takes you away from the roads. Your concentration, you normally lose your concentration when you are on your cell phone. And sometimes you can receive some news that will shock you, and then you let go of your steering, and an accident may occur. Then I think you also talked about the issue of police taking charge of vehicles. Yes, we are actually empowered by Section 72 in brackets 1 brackets E of the Road Traffic Act, Chapter 1311. Right? To drive those motor vehicles from certain places to places of safety, like the police station or VID depots. What normally happens with when you see the police driving, either and a good example is when I find you driving whilst drunk. How do you think we can take that vehicle away from the place to the police station? Can I allow you to keep driving when you are already a hazard to yourself and other road users? What do we do in that incident? A police driver, one who is qualified to drive that class of motor vehicles, who has a driver's license for that class, is the one who will drive the vehicle to the police station or to a VID depot. It's not everyone driving. Then, like you are saying, the issue of, we also have the right, according to Section 74, to demand licenses from motorists. Because we want to see if you have it, and we want also to authenticate, to see if this is not a fake driver's license. Because we had incidences of a number of fake driver's licenses. And the police are actually trained to say which one is the correct one, which one is fake. So we want to
sakatoti munhu haana zvinoitwa seiko license ndinayo zvichida pamwe ndaisiya kumba nekuti kana mari chaiyo inorasika kana kukanganikwa musi iwoyo ndabatwa zvangu neroad block handina license mutemo unoti chii ndinozvomurerwa maki here ndoita sei?
Yes, you are right. If you don't have a driver's license but you have a positive recognized identity on you, like a national ID or your passport, in those instances we can give you a Form 265 or a ticket, so that you produce that driver's license within 7 days to the nearest police station. But now if you don't have any form or particular on you, then that's where we have a challenge. Because we cannot let you go. We cannot issue you with a Form 265 when we don't know who you are. So we have to take your vehicle to the police station. And then if you can have someone bring that license or your identity, then you'll be issued with your Form 265 and you go with your vehicle. We have 24 hours to do this verification and to hold on to your vehicle as we do the verification. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Chief Soup. And Lucy, coming back to you, there's a message that has been sent by a listener whose number ends with 220. Why are there no longer cycle tracks? This is the question. And just to refine it, what is your role, or what role are you playing as the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe in your advocacy role to ensure infrastructure? We are seeing Zimbabwe is undergoing a massive infrastructural development, but issue ya cycle track, which has been raised by vanhu vakawanda, inova ichifana unge iripo, even as we strive to become an upper middle income economy by 2030. We see this in other countries in the region and beyond. Kuti cycle track anofana unge aripo. Tinoona vanofamba havasi vari kutyaira chete vari pamugwagwa, vari mudzimotokari vari kufa mumamigwagwa. Pane vanofamba zvakare mapedestrian anorohwa nemota nekuti hapatori na nzvimbo yakatarwa yekuti vange vachifamba. How have you carried that advocacy in calling for infrastructure inoita kuti roads zveshuwa ange ari safe for all my road users?
All right. As part of our functions as traffic safety, we conduct at Notima road safety appraisals, where we, together with our stakeholders, go to a certain road, try to see what are the challenges that we have, or what is the we interrogate the road condition. So in terms of cycle tracks, we have recommended the relevant authorities on the state of that road, state of that situation. So that is what we do. We carry road safety appraisals and then we inform the relevant authorities. Keep in mind that we do not construct any roads. We do not do any infrastructure. Our role is restricted to education, to training, to publicity. But we have an opportunity to recommend and advise relevant authorities to do such.
All right, thank you very much, Lucy. Other questions that have come through, Chief Sapanzi. So if I'm given the form at a roadblock, am I supposed to pay for the ticket and at how much? Mungade kupindura ipapo pane mwe mibvunzo yabva tichakupai muchingoti gagagaga tingofamba chidaro tichienda pane mamwe issues pane zvemataura izvi pabva pauya panaya mibvunzo pane zvemataura izvozvo.
Thank you very much, Linda. Yes. When you are issued with a ticket by the police at a police checkpoint, if you are willing to deposit a fine there and then, because most of the people forget about the ticket, and the effects of forgetting now is that after 14 days, we normally refer the ticket to court. And then you don't attend the court and a warrant of arrest now is issued against you. Next time you are held by the police, then you are detained and taken to court. So to avoid that, some people are willing to pay their fine there and then. But you are not forced to pay fine there and then. It's your choice. If you want to pay later, you can pay later. In some instances, if you don't have the Form 265, we can even take you to the police station, compile a docket for you, and then you appear in court. It's your choice.
Then uyo mubvunzo, I must ask you to respond. Hanzi ko vanotora ma license pama roadblock zvinobvumidzwa here pamutemo. Mubvunzo wabvunzwa nendofunga 18 andiri kuona ari kubvunza nenzira dzakasiyana. Wobva wazvomorerwa license iyo mupurisa obva atotanga kufamba. Hanzi zviripo zvinobvumidzwa here pamutemo.
On that one, like I said, what the police are supposed to do is to get hold of your driver's license to ensure that you are the owner, because your picture is there and all the details are there, so that if they want to issue with their ticket, then they know this is your driver's license and it's the original license. However, the police are not mandated to take away a person's driving license or any other particular. They are supposed to hand it back after dealing with you and issuing you with your ticket and clearing you.
So when you get reports of officers vanoita izvozvozvo toti ma roadblock etambotaura aya anenge akamountwa pama traffic lights motorist apinda red robot zvisiri pamutemo obva hanzi tione license obva vatoona zveshuwa because you are trained kuona kuti license remashuwa harisi refeja. What then should happen? Patinozoona mupurisa akuita walk away ne license nekuti yapinda traffic light ratsvuka asingafanira kunge achipinda. Ichi chinofanira kuitika ende munogadzirisa sei zvinyunyuto zvinobva vanotyaira dzimotokari dzenyaya iyoyi nekuti dzakazara paWhatsApp pad up.
Thank you very much, Linda. Yes. When the police actually takes possession of any person's particular, they are supposed to supply name and force number. That person has a right to know who is the police officer whom he is dealing with. If he has any complaints against the police, we have our toll-free numbers. I think ASCOM will give us at the end of the show so that these people can actually call on that number. We have, if they give us the complaint that this person has actually taken their particulars like that, they will face disciplinary action because it's unethical in our conduct of our duties as the police. So we don't allow that to be done. But on a cautionary note, some of these people who complain that our licenses were taken, they actually run away from the police. After the policeman has gotten hold of the license, this person will drive away to say, I want to go and do my errands. Then I will come back later to the police. When he returns, maybe they have changed duties. Then he raises a complaint to say, the police took away my driver's license. But sometimes it won't be like that.
All right, a message from Mutsa on our WhatsApp. Mutsa's number ends with 843. Hi, Linda. The issue of road safety requires a more comprehensive approach. Has there been a root cause analysis? What happened to primary and high school engagements that ensured children are aware? The level of jaywalking on Harare roads is atrocious. What is the role of corruption in this whole mess? Are those driving really trained and properly certified? What is the role of public transport stakeholders, owners, drivers, and passengers alike? A holistic solution can only come from a 360-degree approach, which should include infrastructure, sound public transport systems, fines, and more fines are not helping us. Sincerely hope you read my contribution and share it with the panelists. Mutsa in Harare. And I hope, Mutsa, you heard I've read word for word Mutsa Chitungo, your contribution here. Thank you very much for that. And tichidzoka pa issue yarezwa na Mutsa yoyi ASCOM issue ya corruption. We do know that it's happening. The issue is not kuti zviri kuitika kana kuti hazvisi kuitika. We've heard, we've read, we've seen police officers being arrested for taking ngirikini zviwoko muhomwe zvakadaro. We've also seen mapurisa achipinda muntu motati kwamshika-shika kwataurwa kuti unotona vachitopinda mukafiti kana kawishi kafiti fambe otona vadzika. And look, we all know kuti zvaitika mota imomo chii. What mechanisms are you putting in place as the ZRP kugadzirisa nyaya dzecorruption in terms of ma-ICTs? Vachikairi dzimwe nguva futi vanochema nenyaya yekuti kutandanisana, that cat and mouse game pakati pemapurisa muchimhanyidzana, ma-windscreen achismashwa zvinoresulta futi mukurasikirwa kweropa. We've had vana vezvikoro vachitsikwa vachirohwa nemakombi kana motikari dzinenge dziri kutiza mapurisa. What mechanisms have you put in place to ensure kuti vari kuchikora mutemo munovabata asi nenzira dzakatsarukana dzisingaite in danger zvekare vari kufamba pamigwagwa idzodzi?
Thank you very much, Linda. Let me, from the outset, state in the strongest terms to say, as the Zimbabwe Republic Police, we do not condone any form of corruption. In fact, the stance of the police command is that any police officer who commits corruption will be immediately chucked out of the organization after, of course, board proceedings would have taken place. So the first thing is to know is that we do not condone any form of corruption. And what is it that we are doing as the Zimbabwe Public Police to ensure that corruption is dealt with in a proper way, whereby we will end up having limited or minimum incidences of corruption? We have traditional methods, Linda. For example, when it comes to traffic policing, we have our intelligence systems that we often raise when we are carrying out operations or regular duties on a daily basis, whereby our intelligence officers actually monitor what would be happening at a certain traffic checkpoint to ensure that issues of corruption are not being done by our police officers. Number two, we've got police officers, a certain unit that actually policies police officers. If you have seen a certain unit with uniforms, those who put on half-sleeved white arm slings. Those white slings are meant to show people that these are the police officers that police other police officers. But now, in order to ensure that we deal with this issue once and for all, the Zimbabwe Republic Police is now deploying technology through what is known as electronic traffic management system. It's a system that we are starting to roll out as we speak now, whereby we police our roads, we police our rural areas using technology. How then do we do that? The electronic traffic management system is deployed to ensure that we monitor the activity, all the activities that will be happening in the central business district and other areas surrounding the central business district, being monitored from a central point. Once we see issues to do with corruption or any other issues that are not in consonant with the dictates of policing, we then immediately deploy our police officers to rectify the situation. So going forward, this electronic traffic management system is actually being rolled out in phases. You know, issues to do with the technology, they require other stakeholders to come in, those who provide the necessary data. So it's still a process, but we are somewhere. If you were at the Harare Agricultural Show, we were actually showcasing what we are doing, and the general public was actually appreciative of that. So to sum up my response, we have zero tolerance to corruption, and there are certain strategies that we cannot divulge to the general public that we employ in order to ensure that our police officers do not engage in corrupt activities.
So maybe you could expand makamera ere pa technology apa nekuti ndopeta tichaenda kuti we've seen other countries using technology as a way of traffic control. Maybe mungade ku expand kuti technology, what does it involve really? Nekuti vatereri nemamotorists have been crying for this for the longest time kuti shandisaiwo nzira dzechizvino zvino pane kungomhanyidzana nema-button sticks. Saka mungade kutsetsemura panyaya yemataura iyoyo ASCOM.
Regai ndibva ndangotsanangura ndichiti tiri kusvika kuissue yemakamera. Ndosaka ndambotsanangura ndichiti tiri kuuya mbichana nekuti tinoda kuti vamwe ma-stakeholders edu vauye vazotibatsira nekuti zvinhu zvose izvozvi zvinoda data, zvinoda speed nezvimwe zvakadaro. But for now kutoenda izvozvi paRecentral Linda tiri kukwanisa kumonita mabhazi achifamba muno muHarare nespeed nezvese zvavari kuita zvichibuda zviri mucontrol room medu nenhamba yebhazi inobva yatobuda tiri mucontrol room makafanana nematiri muno umu kuti bhazi rakati speed riri kufamba nespeed yakati inova isingabvumirwe mutauni imomomo. Saka tiri mucontrol room tiri kubva takurumidza kubata mapurisa ari pasi kuti endai pabhazi rangana nangana riri kufamba nepakati. Saka ndo technology yatiri kutaura. Then coming to issue yemakamera. Makamera, that's the way to go, nokuti makamera anotibatsira kuti tione zviri kuitika isusu tisiri panzvimbo isvozo. Saka makamera ari kuuya handikapedo matime frames kuti ndirini, asi ndo kwatiri kuenda nekuti we cannot, hatikwanise kuti tipedze dambudziko irori tikasaunza technology inotibatsira. Technology zvakare yobva yatibatsira kuti issue yecorruption yatanga tichataura tinokurumidza kuiona nokuti makamera haungakumbirika kuti shamwari usandivhariro zvakati anobva atirakidza zviripo. So technology, yes, we are going to be deploying technology, Madam Linda.
All right, thank you very much, ASCOM. And Chief Sub, there's a question from Mwiza. Hi, as a motorist, am I allowed to film my interaction with the police at a roadblock with my mobile phone so that I have evidence when I then ask for their name and force number? Am I within my rights to record or film that engagement with police officers in this era of transparency and openness?
Yes, Linda, the answer sometimes will be yes and no on the other instances, because when you are filming, you are not only filming yourself and the police, sometimes you are also filming other people who have their own rights to privacy. And there is need to see now to balance the two, to say yes, for you, your interaction, you can take the film when you are interacting with the police officer for future reference, because we are transparent, we are not hiding anything in how we are operating, how we are engaging with the public. So we want each and every misdemeanor that happens on the road to be brought to our attention so that we deal with these situations and ensure that we have a very professional police force down there. It's okay for people to take to record what is transpiring, but as I said, now there is also caution to say you are not only taking this police officer, you are also recording any other person who is passing by or doing their own things, and we don't know now what those other people feel. But for us, it's not an issue. It's not a problem really if people record what we are doing.
All right. Yes. And ASCOM, pana Baba Reshma in Waterfalls, who says inendoda kuziva kuti police iri kufunge ine mota dzemshika-shika dzinotakura pakona paSamora and Takawira, but we want to make it broad. Atisikuda kungotarisa nzvimbo yataurwa, takuda kupeta chirongwa chedu. Dambudziko iri ndaona vamwe vachibvunza zvekare kuti mapurisa ari kutadza nei kupedza dambudziko remshika-shika, nekuti dzimwe nguva mshika-shika wacho uripo unotoona mapurisa ari pakona. And also reports or accusations dzekuti mapurisa ndo varidzi vemota dzemshika-shika dzacho ndosaka dambudziko risiri kupera. I've also heard on this show vana magura minga ivava ma-operators, ma-driver nemawendi futi achizotaura kuti mapurisa, mota dzemapurisa, they are also involved heavily mutransportation yevanhu. Takatomboita ma-investigative reporters edu akaenda kunoona pacharge office ende zveshuwa tikaona. Saka dambudziko iri muri kutora matanho api kuti mota dzemshika-shika dzipere nekuti zviri kuitika in the full glare of the police?
Okay. Thank you very much, Linda. The issue of Mushika-shika, issue yekuti even us as the police, we do not want Mushika-shika on the road. We want to deal with this menace once for all. But it takes quite a number of stakeholders in order for us to eradicate this issue of this menace of Mushika-shika. For example, the critical stakeholder being the passenger or the pedestrian. You find when we deploy our police officers at such corners or areas where these Mushika-shika start to operate from, these places will actually be congested by quite a number of passengers wanting to use them shika-shika. And this is the reason why I said it requires other stakeholders to then come in and say how best can we deal with this menace once for all.
And your parting remarks, Ascom?
My parting remarks is Zimbabweans, please come on board. We want your feedback in as far as what we can do together in order to ensure that there is safety on our roads. We do not tolerate issues to do with corruption. Our police officers are not supposed to accept bribes from you. And equally, we implore you as members of the public not to offer bribes, because it takes two to commit the crime of corruption or bribery.
Thank you very much. And Lucy, your parting remarks?
Traffic safety, we say road safety is everyone's responsibility. So I implore the members of the public to work with us in ensuring that we have total road safety on our roads, because safety first. There's no second chance.
Madam Lucy Kuandira Mapfumo, I would like to thank you very much for coming through from the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe, as well as Assistant Commissioner Bless Mochishaka and Chief Superintendent Clever Maramwidze. Ndinokutenda zvikuru nekuya kwemaita kuchirongwa. Tichitenda zvakare vateereri vese vauya pa WhatsApp nepanhare dzedu. Let's keep the conversation going. I am Linda Muriro, Muriro, across all social media platforms. Let me know the issues that keep you awake at night as a Zimbabwean. Many thanks to my producers Tanya Radzwa Kutaura and Norman Muchemwa. Until next time, I am Linda Muriro, and it is goodbye for now.
You've been listening to Muriro on Monday. Join us again next time on Star FM.